Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahia, not Allah. It's Yahweh. His only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christus, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shai. So we gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rekakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders over all of Israel, whether you can accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwath who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from the GMS Orlando camp, coming into another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification, another daily edification. Lord's willing, this be edifying. And I titled this lesson, The Divine Government is Hated. Now, I was meditating on this last night when I left the plantation at 11 o'clock last night. I was at the plantation meditating on this. Now, I kept thinking about, the Lord put a spirit on me to think about Revelation 11 and 12, right? When they say their enemies, when they say they heard a great voice from heaven saying, come up hither, and their enemies beheld them. I don't know why. I just know this hit me last night. So, some told me to go to the blue letter, and look up the word enemies in Revelation 11 and 12, because I never did. So, as the verse say, Revelation 11 and 12, this is my lesson is based on. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Now we know we got enemies. We know this, right? Psalms 83. We have enemies. We know this. It's a fact. But I never looked up this word enemy in the blue letter. So when you go to this word enemies, this is what it say. Let's look this word up, enemies. Because this is what my lesson on, man. And this threw me for a loop. Not threw me, but excited me. Further edification. This is the word.
Strong's G 2190. Echthros. Echthros.
Now I say hated, odious, hateful, hostile, hating, and opposing another, right? This is the main definition for the word enemy in Revelation 11 and 12. It said the devil, who is the most bitter enemy of the divine government. Who is the divine government, right? It say the devil, who is the most bitter enemy of the divine government, right? Now, when you go to in the blue letter, John 3 and 16, which everybody love to read, right? Let's look at this word world in John 3:16. Hey, this is beautiful, man. Now, when we read the scripture in Revelation 11 and 12, we know when they're saying their enemies beheld them, we know they're talking about the heathens. We know. But when you go more into depth, man, this is beautiful. So it said the devil is the most hated enemy of the divine government. Divine, I'm going to look at that word up too. So this is the word world in John 3:16. We know which is cosmos, right?
Strong's G 2889. Cosmos. Cosmos.
It's an apt and harmonious arrangement or constitution, ordered government. An order government, man. The government of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. Now, let's look this word divine up, right? So let's go back. Let's go to I'm gonna put it up on Google. Definition for divine, right?
Divine.
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 It's a of, from, or like God, or a God, right? Now we know what the Lord said, ye are gods, right? But you shall die like men, right? The Lord said we are gods. It's a, the word divine, it's a of, from, or like God, or a God, right? Godly, God-like, angelic. Let's look up some of the similar words. Godly, God-like, angelic, right? Satan, it's a saintly, celestial, heavenly, spiritually, holy, right? We know that's talking about the Israelites. So in Revelation 11:12, when it said that enemies beheld them, it's talking about who? Talking about the heathens. Now, when you read Job 9:24, first off, Shalom to everybody on the comment board. Shalom, Yahweh Shema Shabbat Shem Kakadash Brakatham. Shalom for tuning in the water. Now, when you read Job 9:24, because this took me for a whole spin last night. When you read Job 9:24, it said the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, right? This is Luke. And I kept thinking, right? In Daniel 7, the fourth beast, right? The third beast. Let's start with the third beast, who is Esau Edom. When they took over the earth, right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna come back to that. Let's get this. See, this is beautiful, man. I couldn't even sleep. I was up to 5 o'clock this morning. I got off at 11 o'clock last night, man. I couldn't sleep because I was so excited, man. This is First Maccabees 1. I'm gonna start at verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, the king of the Persians and Medes, which is today Iran and Russia, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. This was the beginning rulership of the so-called white man, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. Every king, all the known world was slain by Alexander the Great, right? It say, and went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. This is the beginning rulership, right, of the so-called white man. Then came the fourth beast when you read in Daniel, the 7th chapter, which is the Roman Empire, right? When you think about it, so-called Negroes, right? They say that the Byzantine Empire, or they call it the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages, right? We ruled for 1,000 years. These devils, when they came back in the rulership, just as Alexander the Great conquered the whole world, it said the earth was quiet before him, meaning everybody was under the dominion of this devil, right? Terror, being terrified. What is a bully? What did the guy say in this movie, Bronx Tale? He says that when the young Jake asked him, "Is it better to be love or fear?" He says, "Better to be fear." Right? These devils have, which first and foremost, the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai gave them this power. Right? When Isaac blessed him with the sword, he shall have dominion over the earth through the sword. Through what? Fear. Right? All the nations is under this guy. All the nations are under them. So when you read in Revelation 11:12, when they say their enemies beheld them, this is everybody, all 17 heathen nations, man, Who had control of the earth? Job 9:24 said the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. So I kept thinking, wow, the Lord gave these devils the power to control all nations. We look at China today and like, okay, we look at North Korea and say, okay, Kim Jong-un ruling North Korea. No, he ain't. We look at India and Turkey and say, these guys, which the Turkeys are Edomites anyway, we look at India and say, okay, you got Iran, right? Really, this devil is over the full. He controls the entire planet, man. The Lord gave him dominion to rule over the whole earth, right? We always go into different lessons. When you think about it, who controls the whole earth, man? The elites, right? Who are they? Esau, Edom, man, right? So this devil, when he conquered all the known world, that the earth was quiet before him. When they came back in the rulership, right? When you read in Revelation chapter 20, verse 3, when it say he was shut up for 1,000 years, and verse 7 say after the 1,000 years, he must be loose for a little season to go out to see the whole earth. This is the same reincarnation of Alexander the Great, conquering the world that the earth was quiet before him, right? Now, this is where we at. This is Luke chapter 1, verse 68. It reads, blessed be the Lord God of Israel. Salakia. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. The horn of salvation is Yahushua. As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, right? To perform the mercy promised to our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he swore unto our father Abraham. And you can read that in Deuteronomy 7 and verse 7, right? So, just went back to do a little more search, right? This is Isaiah 11, and start at verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again a second time to recover the remnant of Israel, to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea, which is what South Central North America, all the islands, right? And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah, the diaspora, from the four corners of the earth. Right? It said the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. It say Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. This is my point. Verse 13. Verse 14. But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines towards the west, right? Which is the Hamites who sold us to Esau. It say, but they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines towards the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab. Shall they lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. The main nations that vexed us is Edom, Ham, Moab, and Ammon, man, and Assyria, right? These the five nations. This is Psalms. I'm finna make a point. This is Psalms 83 and verse 2. Luke 1 said, we were going through this with this guy that came to the camp the other night, these three Edomites, which they appear to be Edomites, that Israel got in him. Because we asked him, what is your definition of salvation? He told us what he thought through the theological seminary mind. We told him salvation is being saved from your enemies. And we read it to him in Luke 1 and 68. When we read it, he was shocked because we hit him with Psalm 83. They don't understand. But when I was reading this last night, it's more understanding that When they say when the elect get beat up into the chariots and their enemies beheld them, this is all 17 nations, man. Which we know, but the Lord put a spirit on me to do this lesson. This Psalm 83 and 2. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. Now you got to understand, we have had a perpetual hatred with Esau since the womb. We also have had a perpetual hatred with Ishmael since the Lord had Abraham to depart Ishmael and Isaac got the blessing. So of course, our uncle have a hatred too against our father, right? His brother, being the second oldest, because Ishmael being the first oldest, he's supposed to got the blessing. Or so it was seen because how the way the oldest always get what the father got, right? For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. These nations couldn't take us down one as their own. Edom couldn't just take us down. Moab couldn't just take us down, or Ammon, right, or Ham. What they had to do, they came together, they consulted together, they became confederate, right? It said the tabernacles of Edom and Ishmael and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. It say Ashur also is joined with them, which is the Assyrians. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, right? They have help. The children of Lot is Ammon and Moab, right? All these nations hate you, man. They hate you. They hate your guts. They have always been against us, man, right? They hate the divine government. The divine government is you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, you West Indians, and Haitians, right? You 12 tribes of Israel. We are the divine government, man. Whether you are 2/3 or 1/3, you are a divine government, and these devils hate you, man. This is Jeremiah 30 and 16. We all know this precept, but I'm going to make a point out of here. It's Jeremiah 30 and 16. It reads, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, which we know in Isaiah and Psalm 83, which I just read, every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be spoiled, and all they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. And that's Edom, Moab, Ammon, Ham, Ishmael, the Syrians. They all hate us, man, right? For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord Yahweh, because they, who is the they? Edom, Moab, Ammon, Elam, Ishmael, all of them, man. They all said what? But because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, who no man seeketh after. So this is what they say about us. When you read in the book of Judith, right? I ain't gonna read it. I'm just gonna quote some of these main names that always been against us. That's why when you read Wisdom of Solomon 5, right? This is Judith 7 in verse 8, reading the point. Because this guy, Holofernes, right? He wanted to take down the Israelites. So you had a bug in his ear. Here are the names of the bugs that was in his ear saying, this is how we can get them. The whole story, when you read in Judith 7, it was about cutting off the water to Israel, right? This is Judith 7 and 8. Then came unto him all the chief of the children of Esau, right? The one that's supposed to have knowledge, right? Then came unto him all the chief of the children of Esau, and all the governors of the people of Moab, and the captains of the sea coast, and said, let our Lord not hear a word, that there be not an overthrow in thy army. For this people of the children of Israel do not trust in their spears, but in the height of the mountains wherein they dwell, because it is not easy to come up to the top of their mountains. Now, therefore, my Lord, fight not against them in battle array, and there shall not so much as one man of thy people perish. Remain in thy camp, and keep all thy men of thy army, and let thy servants get into their hands the fountain of water which issue forth out of the foot of the mountain. So it said Edom. So right here, it say, so verse 17 say, so the camp of the children of Ammon departed, and with them 5,000 of the Assyrians, and they pitched in the valley and took the waters and the fountains of the waters of the children of Israel. Then the children of Esau went up with the children of Ammon and camped in the hill country over against Dotham. So it say, thus all the, verse 20 say, thus all the company of Ashur remained about them, both their footmen. We just read in Psalm 83, it said, Ashur has also hope in the children of Lot, which is Assyrians. So you always had Edom, Moab, Ammon, Elam, Ashur, Ishmael have always been the enemies of the Israelites, man. Right? This is Ezekiel 35. I'm gonna start at verse 1. Moreover, why I'm reading Ezekiel? Because this is the one that the Lord put in rulership. He made these other nations consent with Edom to be part of this whole government, right? Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time when their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh power, our iniquity had an end, man. But you kept going, man. That's why I say in Zechariah 1, Salakia, Zechariah 1:11, you helped forth the affliction, right? It say, therefore, as I live, said the Lord Yahweh power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Right, the water, brother. Right there, Zephaniah 1:15. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen. They are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they have fought the affliction. Right. That's what they did. Hey, shalom, everybody on the coming board. Yahweh Shem Shabbat Shem Karnas Brakathon. Shalom. Verse 7. Thus will I make Esau most desolate. Why? Because he's the head of the whole UN. They are the head of the beast. Right? It's saying, cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth. That's everybody. And I will fill his mountain with the slain men, and in thy hills and in thy valleys. That's how you know it when you're reading one. It ain't talking about prophesy against the mountain of Esau. It said, and I will fill his mountain with his slain men, and thy hills and in thy valleys and in thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. Your own sword, as it say in Psalm 37, your sword is going to turn upon you. It say, I will make thee perpetual desolation, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Because this is the point, because thou hast said, these two nations, the northern and southern kingdom, and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord Yahweh power, I will even do according to thine anger, to your anger, and according to thine envy, which thou hast used of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountain of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume. So this is what you told the other nations. We got them now. We can take them. They Lord ain't with them. They done broke the law, statute, commandments. They Lord ain't with them now. We can. This is the point. We can take them. Join with me, and we can take them. Verse 13. Thus with your mouth have you boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Verse 12 say, I have heard all the blasphemies which thou hast spoken. Right? Real quick. Revelation. Revelation 13:5 reads, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. When you read in Revelation 11, it tell you that the court is for the heathens, for the Gentiles, and they shall tread the city 42 months. So the same thing in Luke 21, right? The Gentiles shall tread down Jerusalem until the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled, right? So back in Ezekiel 35, in verse 13, thus with your mouth have you boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Thus said the Lord Yahweh power, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. 8, and all the nations are going to rejoice. But for the moment, the Lord gave them the spirit to put all their confidence and everything they got into this devil, man. It say, as thou, verse 15, as thou did rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 7. All the men, see, this is how the Lord, this is how beautiful the Lord is, man. Because he uses you, then he throw you away. The same way Esau do today with these jakes that they use to destroy other jakes. Like you got a guy that snitch, right? The police use this informant for a period of time. Then when they done with him, then they expose that he was snitching. And what happened? He either get tossed in prison and he get done away with, or he be in the streets and he still get done away with, right? Because that is what it's called in the world, karma, right? They call it karma. The Bible calls it judgment of Yahweh, right? This is Obadiah 1 and 7. All the men of thy confederacy, which we read in Psalm 83, have brought thee even to the border. Why would they bring them to the border if they all have agreed with them? They have no choice. They have to agree. Why? Because the earth was given to the hand of the wicked, man. Even though we look at TV and we see, oh, North Korea, Kim Jong-un testing missiles, right? Oh, India buying missiles from Russia, even though, you know, they Edomites too. Russia buying S-300, Turkey getting S-300, S-400 from Russia, right? Let's deal with the other heathens, right? Iran, India, right? These nations, these Elam, these other nations, right? Arab, Ishmael and them. The Lord has still put the spirit in them. They is under the rulership of Edom, man. They can't do nothing without Edom, because both sides of the war is controlled by who? The Rothschilds. At the end of the day, everything that plays out is controlled by Edom, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shema Shah, right? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread, when you look up, when you go into the petrodollar, North America made every nation on the damn planet adapt to the petrodollar. So when they say, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, everybody had to get the petrodollar. You either got it or you laid down. That's why they got rid of this guy, what the name is, Gaddafi, right? You're either going to adapt to the petrodollar or we're going to lay you down. So all the nations trade back and forth with what? The petrodollar, man. Right? Because this devil controls the planet through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah. It say, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. How? How have they laid a wound under Esau if they under his rulership? Because the Lord is playing chess with this devil, man. It say there is none understanding in him. You see, when you read in verse 3 in Obadiah, it said the pride of their heart have deceived them. So verse 7 say there is none understanding in him, right? This Revelation 17 and 16. That's how cold the Lord is, man. The Lord is cold, man. A master, the master of chess, man. This Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked. Who is the whore? North America, Babylon the Great, right? You got the beast system, which is EU, NATO, and North America, which control the beast system. That's why the UN is here in North America, and it ain't in China, and it ain't in Russia, right? It ain't in India, Turkey. It ain't in Britain, even though Britain is the mother, right? Great Britain is the mother of Babylon the Great, but the UN sits here, man. Why? Because this is the mother of all harlots, right? It say, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, which is North America, Babylon the Great, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. We know this gonna come from the intercontinental ballistic missiles. This is my point. Verse 17, for God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of God shall be fulfilled. What's the words of Yahweh Shema shall be fulfilled? The elect being sealed, man. When the elect gets sealed, let's say Revelation 11, there shall be an earthquake, right? And a 10th part of the city fell, which is Babylon the Great, right? So the Lord have given them the spirit, no matter what we see, like the Lord is, he's making that separation. That's why you got Russia, China, India, Turkey. They separate, right? EU, that was the whole Brexit was about. But they still giving their mind, not Russia. I'm talking about the other nations. They still giving their mind to the beast until the words of the Lord be fulfilled, which is the elect being sealed, man. Once the elect get sealed, that's when everything gonna break loose. But for the moment, my point is they giving their mind to the beast, right? It say, for God have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So when you read Obadiah 1 and 7, and it said, all the men of thy confederacy have deceived thee, right? And have brought thee to the border. This is Daniel chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 39. It's what it reads. And after thee, this is what Daniel tells Nebuchadnezzar, and after thee shall rise another kingdom inferior to thee, which was the Medo-Persian Empire, which today are Iran and Russia, and another third kingdom of brass, which is Alexander the Great, the Greeks, which shall bear rule over all the earth, right? That's why these guys is bugged out to my Apocrypha. Well, how are you going to read about the rest of Daniel? I mean, the rest of Alexander the Great. It tell you in the book of Daniel chapter 8, it talks about Alexander the Great, and he had 4 generals, and out of them 4 generals came a furious king, right? Who is this? Antiochus Epiphanes. So if you ain't reading the Apocrypha, you don't know what's going on in the book of Daniel. You don't know the rest of it, right? It's verse 40, and the 4th kingdom, which shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdue all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise, right? And whereas thou sawest the feet and the toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron. Now, you had the Greeks, right? The brass, 3rd kingdom. The 4th was what? The legs, right? The 4th kingdom. This is talking about the feet, which is what? Babylon the Great, EU and NATO, man. It said, whereas thou saw the feet and the toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, right? That's EU, NATO, and North America. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. Right? Verse 42. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. Right? That's EU and NATO. You got the monetary and the military. Right? Verse 43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seeds of men. Who is the they that shall mingle themselves? It's talking about the fourth beast, right? Edomites, Edom. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. So Edom is going to mix himself with Moab, Ammon, Ishmael, Elam, Ham, right? But they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with miry clay. So these devils, I'm talking about the other 16 heathen nations, right? You got 18 nations the Lord created, 12 tribes of Israel is one nation. You got the other 17 nations. One of those nations is Edom, right? The other 16 nations, they don't like this devil, man. But they have no choice to agree with him because the Lord put the spirit on them to do so. When Isaac gave him the fake blessing, right? To live by the sword, to have dominion over the earth through the sword. So as Alexander the Great conquered, it say the earth was quiet before him because he conquered all the known kings, just like right now. North America is king on the planet, man. All the other kings of the earth have to consent to this guy, to these devils. You see? So when you read in Revelation 11:12, when they say they heard a great voice from heaven, said, come up hither, and their enemies beheld them. I went to the blue letter and read it to you. It said the devil is the most hated enemy of the divine government. That's why I say, when you're reading Isaiah 14, when this devil get thrown down, the other nations going to rejoice at this devil going down, man. Because now things get to go back in righteous order, man. So let's get this. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 11. We'll start at 39. It reads, Are not thou it that remaineth of the fourth beast, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times may come through them? Who? Edom. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past. This is Daniel the 7th chapter right here. And the fourth came, it's in the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past and had power over the world with great fearfulness. This is the Roman Empire, right? And over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceits. The Roman Empire came back as what? The revised Roman Empire, which is North America. The earth hast thou not judged with truth, for thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and has cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. You destroyed the Israelites, you destroyed all the other nations, you made them. The Lord talking about Israelites right here when it say, but thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and have cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. This is talking about Israel. But he also took down the walls of these other nations as well, man. Right? Because they don't care only for themselves, man. Verse 43, therefore is thy wrongful dealings come up to the highest. What does it say? Revelation 18, your sins have reached into heaven. It said the same thing in Jeremiah 51, right? It said, therefore is thy wrongful dealings come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. That's Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee. Verse 44, the highest also have looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended which is a future prophecy of you being taken out of the way as all others, like I love to bring out in Job 24 and 24, and his abominations are fulfilled, and therefore appear no more thy eagle. What's the logo? What happened in logo? Since the Greek Empire? The eagle. Greek, Rome, it's been the eagle. And therefore appear no more thy eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, right? The 7 heads and 10 horns, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed, right? Revelation 21, right? Kainos, refreshed, a new king, a new earth, refreshed, right? That all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her, right? So everybody waiting, the Lord have given these other nations control to give you control over the world, man. But they don't want to be with you. They hate you. As it say in Daniel 2 and 43, he shall mingle himself with the seed of men, but they will not cleave one to another. It's going to always be a separation because you is vile and filthy, man. Nobody loves you, man. You is a thief. You is a thief and a deceiver, man. This is Second Ezra 15. It reads, Second Ezra 15 and 46. And thou, Asia, thou art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and not the glory of her person. When you look at the map of Asia, you know how many countries in Asia? Basically, almost all of them that's joined to the UN, man. That's joined to this devil. When you look at Asia, almost everybody is in Asia, man. Okay? So it's talking about China, it's talking about Ammon, Moab, all of them, man. They all are there, man. Second Ezra 15 and 46. And thou, Asia, that are partaker of the hope of Babylon, right? Because they all had to conform to Babylon, man. They all had to conform to the ways of the Roman Empire, or you get destroyed, man. Period. And art the glory of her person. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughter in whoredom, that they may please and glory in the lovers which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. Thou hast followed her that is hated. Thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore, self power. The Lord say, you have followed her that is hated, man. The Lord hate these devils, man. They only have one job, man. When you read in Revelation 11:18, when you read in Jeremiah 51 and 25, he said, I will roll thee down from the rocks and make thee a burnt mountain. Right? Real quick. Let's get this. This is Jeremiah 51 and 25. It reads, Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord Yahweh, which destroyeth all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks and will make thee a burnt mountain. Who's he talking to? Esau, Edom. That's why I said in Obadiah 1 and 18, they shall be a big bonfire. As a matter of fact, this is Psalms right here, Psalm 37. Psalm 37 and verse 20. It say, but the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord Yahweh shall be as the fat of lambs. And I always go into this. If you know about lamb, which I love to eat lamb, when you cook lamb, the fat usually burns off, man. Especially if you use a grill, right? It said, but the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord Yahweh shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume into smoke, shall they consume away. Because the fat usually burns right off, man, right? They shall consume into smoke, they shall consume away, man. He's talking about, first and foremost, Esau, Edom, man. So back in Second Ezra 15 and 48. Thou hast followed her that is hated and all her works and inventions. Everything about this devil, the Lord hate him, man. Everything, man. Everything. Therefore, said power, I will send plagues unto thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence to waste thy houses with destruction and death. This is talking about all of Asia, man. This is talking about all of Asia, right? Verse 50, and the glory of thy power shall be dried up as a flower, and the heat shall arise that is set over thee. Thou shalt be weakened as a poor woman with stripes, and as one chastened with wounds, so that the mighty and lovers shall not be able to receive thee. Would I with jealousy have so proceeded against thee, said the Lord, if thou hast not always slain my chosen, because Moab, Ammon, you was there with Esau, man. When you was there, when he was slaying it, you was there too, man. It's a if thou hast not always slain my chosen, exalting the stroke of thy hands and saying over their dead, when thou was drunken, set forth the beauty of thy countenance, the reward of thy whoredom shall be in thy bosom, therefore shalt thou receive recompense. Like as thou hast done unto my chosen, said the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Havashah, even so shall power do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief. Right? Because the next verse, 57, 58, these Ammon, Moab, they got bunkers too in the mountains, right? They showed you in the movie 2012, man, right? Even though who was over that? Esau. This is verse 57, 2 Ezra 15 and 57. Thy children shall die of hunger, still talking about Asia. Thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy city shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. They that be in the mountains, because they're going to try to hide too, right? They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger and eat their own flesh and drink their own blood for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. You see? So they're going to be hiding too, just like Esau. When all hell break loose, they're going to go to their bunkers. The Lord said you're going to die in those bunkers and you're going to eat your own flesh and you're going to drink your own blood for thirst of water, man. Why? Because you have made yourself partaker with Babylon, man. All the nations did. And that's the spirit the Lord got on these devils to agree and give their kingdom to the beast, man, until the words of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh should be fulfilled, man. You see, this is 2 Ezra 16 and 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon, and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourself with cloth of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? You can't, man. You can't. It's a verse 6. May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may any one quench the fire and stubble when it begin to burn. Listen, who is that lion? That hungry lion? Yahweh Shai, man. He's coming back filled of the wrath of Yahweh, man. This is Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse 6. It reads, for lo, I raised up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation. Now, hold on. Let's pull this up again. It said that bitter and hasty nation. Let's read this again, going back to the blue letter. Back in the blue letter, let's get this. Back in Revelation 11 and 12. Let's pull this again. For the word enemy, right? Pull this again for the word enemy. Before I read that script. Play this word again.
Strong's G 2190. Echthros. Echthros.
Right. It's a hateful, right? It's a opposing God in the mind. A man that is hostile. A certain a certain enemy, the hostile one. Main definition, the devil, who is the most bitter enemy of the divine government. We, Hebrew Israelites, are the divine government of the Lord, man. It said the devil, who is the most bitter enemy of the divine government, right? Real quick, let's get this. I want to show this word. This Revelation 17. I'm going to pull this word up for Mystery Babylon. The brothers went into this some weeks ago in the Mississippi camp. This is the word for Mystery Babylon. Look at this. Let's play the word.
Strong's G 3466. Mustadion. Mustadion.
It's a oh, I'm sorry, Salakia. I looked up mystery. My bad. I meant to look up Babylon, right? Let's look at this word Babylon. Let me play the word.
Strong's G 897. Babylon. Babylon.
Listen what I say for Babylon in Revelation 17. This is the main definition. It's a allegorically of Rome as the most corrupt seat of idolatry and the enemy of Christianity, man. Allegoric, I can't pronounce the word right. Allegorically of Rome as the most corrupt seat of idolatry and the enemy of Christianity, man, of Israelites. Because they tell you in Acts, when you read in Acts, let's get this. Acts, is it 13? It's like it. No, it's Acts 11. I ain't read it in a minute. I want to say they were first called Christians at Antioch. What is that? Is that Acts 11? No. If you brothers know what I said, man, you put it up on I ain't read it in a minute. It's been a minute since I read it. But anyway, so it said the disciples were first called Christians in Antioch, right? I forgot what verse it is. Thought it was in 13. Anyway, it's been a minute since I read it. But it tell you that the matter of fact, let me pull it up. The disciples were first called Christians in Antioch. Let's see. Come on, the water. I know it's okay, the water. Actually, the GMS Saints of the Most High, Acts 11:26, the water. It reads, and when they had found him, he brought him unto Antioch, and it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people, and the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. So in Revelation 17, when they say mystery of Babylon, right? The word Babylon is talking about the Roman Empire, man. So we know just when you look these, that's why apostles and elders always tell us to look up these words, man. And when I watched the elders in Mississippi, the brother, his page, GMS Kingdom Minded, him and the other brother, I forgot the other brother's name, but they went into that word, man, Babylon in Revelation 17, which means allegorically Rome, man. This is the revised Roman Empire. There's no way you can dispute this. You can't debunk it, man. Thus saith the Lord. So knowing that, back in Habakkuk 1 in verse 6. Now it said the devil is the most bitter enemy of the divine government, right? When you look at that word enemy in Revelation 11:12. This is Habakkuk 1 and 6. For lo, I raised up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, Who is this? Esau Edom. It say, I have raised up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. What Revelation 49:11 say? What does Micah 2:2 say? What Habakkuk 2:5 say? They covered fields by violence, man. They take, and call the lands after their own names. This is what they do, man. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. They are terrible and dreadful. Just like it said in 2 Ezra 11, like it said in Daniel 7, just like it said in Daniel chapter 2. They are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. You see, their horsemen also are swifter than leopards, and are more fierce than the evening wolves. And their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall spread themselves. Did not Rome do that? They were spread it too thin. It's not Babylon the Great, North America spread it too thin. They have over 800 military bases around the world. They spread too thin. It said, and their horsemen spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far. They shall fly as the eagle that hasteneth to eat, man. You see? They shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the sand. What captivity? They didn't gather Edom. They didn't gather Moab or Ammon for the captivity. They didn't gather Elam or Ham for the captivity. Who do they gather for the captivity? You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, you West Indians, and Haitians. We have enemies. Why? Because we are the salt of the earth, man. We are the salt of the earth. We are, what it say in Revelation 2:9? I know thy tribulation and poverty and works, but thou art rich. Why? Because the kingdom of heaven is for you. You are the chosen line. When you read in Romans 9, it said, hey, these are children of the flesh. These are not the sons of God, right? But those that are counted for the seed, man, the promise. You see? It say, and they shall scoff at the kings, and princes shall be a scorn unto them. They shall deride every stronghold. They still in Habakkuk 1, that bitter and hasty nation that shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. This is verse 10. Habakkuk 1:10. And they shall scoff at the kings. Did Antiochus do this to Israel when he lost his battle? And he came back and saw Israel was doing it big. And they shall scoff at the kings, and the princes shall be a scorn unto them. You know what Antiochus Epiphanes did to our people, man? They shall deride every stronghold. Who is this? The Roman Empire, man. For they shall heap dust and take it. Then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend, imputing this his power unto his God. Man, look at here, man. If this ain't them, who is it, man? Listen, man, these devils is something serious, man. But just going through that Revelation 12:11. Oh, let me close with this. I'm gonna get you brother precepts. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5:1. And it all makes sense, man. It all makes sense why you are being slain, why you are the last hired and first fired. Why when you walk past these Shedemites, they cuffing their purses, they look at you funny. You always being walked around Macy's and all these other stores. Why you on the bottom? Why? First and foremost, for disobedience against Yahweh Shema Shah. But why you hated? Because you the salt of the earth. You are a light that set on the hill, right? Oh, let's get this real quick. This is Philippians 2. I'm read the point. Philippians 2. Start at 13. For it is God which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure. Do all things without murmurings and disputing. And this is a problem with these devils. Because they can't get nothing out of you. Especially when the Lord said, be wise as serpents and harmless as doves in Matthew 10 and 16. So now we on a different mind, man. Okay? We ain't on earth time. We on Yahweh Shema Shah time, man. We on spiritual time, man. We ain't on their level, man. We ain't on their level, man. Verse 15 say that ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God, without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world, man. These devils is hurt, they destroy it, and they can't get nothing out of you, man. But spiritual talk, that's it. They want you to be carnal, but they know you're not carnal minded. We spiritual minded. The 2/3, they already got them. They don't want them. They want you because you spiritual, man. And they hate it. That's why they take down brother pages. That's why they destroy brother pages, because it's all about slander, vexation, accusing, man. These devils is done. They don't got nothing else. They tired of spending money. They bored. They have nothing else to do, man. That's why they want everybody chipped. They time running out. They have nothing going for themselves, man. They are destroyed. This Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no count of his labors. If this was back in the 50s and the 60s, we would have been hung. Been hung out there on the highways and byways. Not just saying the so-called white man going to slavery. Out there pushing the truth, man. Bringing our people out of that madness. We'd have been destroyed for this, man. Right? When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. And they're like, man, what's going on with these guys? They out here diligently. You can't shake them. They done sent all the vocab Malones. They done sent the E.J. Loves, the Jesus, the Words, the Jane Whites. They done sent all these guys, man. Ain't nothing working. They done use your Deflo Dollars, your Geo Genesis. They done use your TD Snakeses, your Air Shop Tones, your Jesse Jackasses. None of them is working, man. None of that is working, man. They are in terrible fear. We just don't see it. They sit behind their houses and behind their walls and their palaces, eating raw meat, terrified, man. Because they don't know. You can't buy a righteous man out. Tell you that in Isaiah 33, man. Right? You can't bribe a righteous man for nothing, man. It say, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. And they repented and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. Yeah. That's why I say, when your enemies shall beheal you, man. Damn, this was them who we had sometime in derision the whole time, and they see you getting beat up into the chariots and they ask them to burn with fervent heat. Yeah, that was them, man. Whomever the elect is, man. That was them who you've been talking trash about, cuffing your person. Oh, I hate when these devils do this, but it don't bother them no more. They wait till they get, you could be close by their car, if you're at a Walmart or a Publix or anywhere, they get way up by the door, then they'll hit their chirp to make you feel, oh, so you locking your doors because I'm standing by your car. Listen, that don't bother us no more, man. All your clutching your purses and locking your door makes you chirping it 3 times. That don't bother the righteous man. It say verse 4, it said this, they're gonna amongst themselves be thinking, we fools accounting his life madness. Yeah, you said that we heathens, we ain't nothing. We 3/5 of a man. We spicks, spooks, porch monkeys, wetbacks, savages. We ain't nothing. We fools accounting his life madness and his end to be without honor. Yeah, when you're reading Wisdom of Solomon 2, this is what they did. This is what they say. This is how they talk amongst themselves, man. These niggas, these spooks, these wetbacks, these damn savages. Yeah, it's okay though. It's okay. We know. Hey, like Elder Nuts Up, I always say, man, hey, the cow jumped over the moon and the dish ran out with a spoon. We know, man. We just gonna hold it down, right? The Lord say, let patience have a perfect work, that you may be entirely wanting nothing, man. We don't need you devils, man. We fools account his like madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of God and his lot is among the saints? Hey, what they said, Hosea 1 and 10, well was said unto you, you are not my people, there it shall be said. And this is what they say. When I first got my 12 tribe chart made, my 12 tribe sign, and I went to these Edomites, and the lady said, this what she told me, real talk. She said, Haitians are Israelites? Like, I said, yeah. I said, did you know Moses was a Levite, was a so-called Haitian? She like, oh, well, I didn't know that. Yeah. She didn't ask me. This is how I know, man. That had blew my mind. She didn't say, oh, Negroes, because you know I got the 12, you know, I got Judah, Benjamin, Levi on the other side. They got Negroes, you know, West Indians, Haitians. She didn't say, oh, Jamaicans are Israelites or Negroes. She said Haitians are Israelites. I said, yeah. Why she ain't mention Judah, a Levi, a Benjamin? Why she ain't mention Simeon or Ephraim? She said, oh, so Haitians? Yeah. You look at them like they ain't nothing, man. Because when you go back to the law, they didn't have nothing, man. And the spirit of the Lord got them like that right today, man. Everybody look at them when I'm at the plantation. I look at Levi. Everybody look at them like they disgusted at them, man. But you devils is the damn vilest peoples on the earth, man. But you look at, but it's all spiritual. The Lord got a spiritual like that, man. Because Levi is supposed to have been given. They're supposed to have been given a portion, man, because they didn't have nothing. And that's why these devils look at them like they nothing right now, man. But it's all good, though. Our time coming, man. It's verse 6. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth. Right. You don't know who you're dealing with, man. You're dealing with royalty, man. Kings and priests, man. And princesses. That way we always be joking. Hey, these Moabites, hey, they just don't know. They've been doing nails and toes for the longest. They just preparing to do our women toes and nails in the kingdom. These African, we're African Hamites. They know women, they know how to do hair real good. Hey, our women gonna be living good in the kingdom, man. They toes and nails, they hair, everything, man. Everything, man. And that just on a level of just dealing with the women, man. Yeah, all these nations preparing, hey, to groom us, man. On every level. And when you read, like I read in First Maccabees 1, when it said he spoiled all the kings of the earth and they all brought him tributaries, man, to Alexander the Great. That's going to be you Jakes, man. Okay, the elect of Israel, all of Israel as a whole, man. These nations will bring us their tributaries forever. So, and it's crazy because you devils don't believe that we're going to get tributaries forever, but Alexander the Great got them. A heathen. Is you people crazy, man? You think the Lord gonna get these heathens, tributaries, and then they're gonna come to the royalty? People's is whack, man. This is Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 6. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us. No, it tell you in day 12 and 10. The wicked will not understand. Your minds to be carnal minded, our minds to be spiritual. You are natural men, we are spiritual men. Period. It reads, and the Son of Righteousness rose not upon us. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yeah, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way, but as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. Who have pride? It's a what have pride profited us? Nothing, but to live by the sword and to die by that same sword, like it said in Psalm 37. Or what good have riches with our vaunting brought us? All those things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that hastens by, and a ship that passeth over the waves of the water, which when it is gone by, the trace thereof cannot be found, neither the pathway of the king in the ways, so of the needle in the ways. These devils know. They know when you read Wisdom Solomon 2, they know that they end is slavery. And then it's death, man. Death. The same way, like I said the other day, the Lord gave you a short period of time to rule. Right now, that's how it's going to be in the kingdom. You're going to have a short period of time to serve. And then you're going to be done on the way, man. But it's going to be a long period of time. You're going to serve. And then you're going to be done out the way, man. Let me get you brother precepts and I'm going to close out. And the water for tuning in, man. The water. Yahweh Shema Shah continue to bless you in your houses. The water for tuning in. So this is Adam now put up First Maccabees 12 and 13. It reads, as for ourselves, we have had great troubles and wars on every side, right, man? Oh, because they tell you in Psalms 12 and 8. Matter of fact, I don't want to make this too long. I'm usually going overboard. This is Psalms 12 and 8, the precept that real quick. It reads, the wicked walk on all sides, Salakia. The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted, man. You see, they walk on every side. That's why I love to bring out Job 1 when the Lord asked Satan where he come from. He said, up and down and through the earth, all up in it, man. Because they tell you in 1 Peter 5 and 8, man, this devil walking as a roaring lion seeking all who he may devour. And he's only going to devour the 2/3, man. He's only going to devour the 2/3. First Maccabees 12 and 13. As for ourselves, we have had great troubles and wars on every side, for as much as the king that are round about us have fought against us. Right. This is Kadash SOZ, First Maccabees 3 and 52. And lo, the heathen are assembled together against us to destroy us. Right, Psalm 83. What things they have imagined against us, it say, thou knowest. Hey, we can only imagine, man. But it's great to tell you that, hey, all that they sit upon their beds, they were evil upon their beds, man. Right? And Proverbs 4 and 16 say, they sleep not, except they have caused some to do mischief, man. They can't sleep unless they know they done killed some of you jakes, man. Or they'd have contaminated you, and shortly you're going to die. This is what they do, man. Proverbs 10 and 23 say, it is as a sport to a fool to do mischief, man. These devils, man. These devils, man. This is same brother, the Kadash SOZ, First Maccabees 2 and 10. It say, what nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? Every nation have, man. Every nation have touched us, man. Every nation, because the Lord let it happen, man, for our disobedience. This is Now 2 Peter 1 and 3. According as his divine power have given unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness through the knowledge of him that have called us to the glory and virtue. It's his divine power, man. That's why this devil, hey, the Wadi, how about Shema Shah, man, for setting us up with the apostles and elders that we have, man. Could they make sure we look up these words, man? Because I was meditating on this last night, and some just told me to go look up the word enemies in Revelation 11 and 12, man. And it say the devil are the most bitter hatred towards the divine government, man. Can't make this up, man. Beautiful, man. This is Kadash SOZ Lamentation 4 and 1. It say, how was the gold become dim? How was the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out into the top of every screech. Right. And it tell you, you got the next verse? Yeah, come. It say, the precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, man? Nothing, empty. The work of the hands of the potter. The Lord did it. When you read Lamentation 2, it said the Lord cast down the beauty of Israel. He said he cast down, right, the beauty of Israel, man. We became the basis of men. Like it said Daniel 4 and 17, and he took the bases of men and put them on high, man. The Lord, hey, showing his power, man. Magnify. That's why I tell you in Romans 8, right? It said the creature was not subject to vanity, man, not willingly. But it said the Lord did it to show his power, man. To show his power, man. This is all about the Lord magnifying his name again, just like in Egypt, showing his power, man, through his only begotten son, man. Whether you can accept it or not, it doesn't matter. This is Kadash SOZ, 2nd Ezra 16 and 1, which I read. Will be unto the Babylon and Asia, will be unto the Egypt and Syria. All you devils that had a part in our hand, man. Let's see. What is this? Let me check this. Salakia. Verse 2 say, gird up your loins. It's a which I read. It say, gird up yourself with cloth of sack and hair, bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. Right, man? And the brother put up there, I read that Zechariah 1:15 and Kadash SOZ. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen. They are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they have forth to affliction. When you read Isaiah 33:1, man, tell you that, hey, woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, man. You see? And when you begin to stop spoiling, you're gonna be taken, man. Ain't nobody, hey, these Edomites love to go adopt little Jake babies and try to say, oh, we love Israelites. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're doing that for a damn tax write-off, man. You damn devils. Kadash SOZ, Ezekiel 36:2. Thus said the Lord Yahweh power, because the enemy have said against you, aha, what you guys said in coming to America, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Right. When you read Psalm 79:1, where it say, oh God, the heathen are coming to thy inheritance. The holy temple have they laid on heaps, man. Yeah. Isaiah 1:7. Say strangers is in our land and devouring it, man. Right? Until the time of the Gentile be fulfilled. What is that? Luke 21:24. They're gonna try it down, man. That's their job. That's their lot, man. This is the same, brother. Psalm 64:7. But power shall shoot at them with the arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. Right, man. Now you see Elder Monatazak about that video yesterday going in on his Edomite, which I lamb back and did a video off his. This guy told me the Edomites are done away with. No. It's the scriptures tell you. Ecclesiastes 4:16 say there is no end of all the people. You dummy. Do you read? Right? There's no end of all the people, man. So you got that one guy, Elder Malcolm, always going. He been going to these encyclopedias, man. The 1925, right? The 1971, 1925 edition, right? Tell you that Edom is modern day Jewry, man. Meaning they today's so-called Jews, man. The Lord shall shoot at them with the arrow, and suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And that's why these nations are going to separate from her, man. These nations are separated from Babylon, man. Why? Because they see the filthiness of this place. But they have been partakers with it too. So they're going to be destroyed, man. So you can't go nowhere. You can't run. You can go back to your country. Hey, but the missile's coming. This is Kadash SOZ Jeremiah 30:23. Behold, the whirlwind of the Lord Yahweh goeth forth with fury, a continuing whirlwind. It shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked. Them chariots, man. Them chariots, man. Psalms 68:19. Psalms 68:17. The chariots of the Lord, 20,000, even thousands of angels. Right? Isaiah 66:15, man. With a whirlwind and fire, man. To render his anger. And his fury will rebuke and flames of fire, man. You devils got to pay, man. Ain't no getting around it. Verse 24 reads, the fierce anger of the Lord Yahweh shall not return until he have done it. Done what? Destroy Babylon the Great. Destroy the land of Israel and other parts of the world. It say, the fierce anger of the Lord Yahweh shall not return until he have done it, and and until he have performed the intents of his heart in the latter days, ye shall consider it. Oh, he tell you in Zephaniah 3:5, right? He said, matter of fact, let's read that. That's a beautiful precept. Let me link this right with that. This is Zephaniah 3. In verse 5, it say, the just Yahweh is in the midst thereof. He would not do iniquity. Every morning do he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. The unjust is you 2/3 Jakes. This is the point right here. It say, I have cut off the nations. Their towers are desolate. I made their streets waste. This is a future prophecy that none passeth by. Their cities are destroyed, so that there is no man, that there is none inhabitant. I said, surely thou will fear me. What the brother got right there. I said, surely thou will fear me, thou will receive instruction, so that their dwelling should not be cut off. Who? The elect of Israel. I punished them, but they rose early and corrupted all their doings. 2/3. Yeah, man. You'll cut off these nations, and they shall be as they have not been, man. Adam now, first Ezra 8 and 69. The nation of Israel, the princes, the priests, and the Levites have not put away from them the strange people of the land, nor the pollution of the Gentiles, to wit, of the Canaanites, right, man? Still going after the same heathens today, man, as when we came out of Egypt, man. Yeah, man. Beautiful. This is Domus Earless. Shalom, Mike. How about Shema Shah Brakatah? Shalom, brother. Kadash SOZ put up Matthew 10 and 34. Think not that I'm come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword, man. And we know what you do with a sword. Hey, the Lord said in Luke 19 and 27, but those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me, man. See, Kadash SOZ, Isaiah 47:7. And thou says, I shall be elated forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither did remember the latter end of it. Right, man? That's the pride. 48 say, therefore, hear not this, thou that art given to pleasure, that dwellest carelessly, that says in thy heart, I am and none else. Now the brother was saying the other day, this devil saying that he is, I am, saying that you the most high, man, you God. It's okay. Your time coming. And none else besides me, I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Yeah, okay. Well, right now, you got an epidemic going on of opioids, suicide rate, and ODing, man. And that's all on you Edomites. Why? The curses is upon you, man. Kadash SOZ, 2 Ezra 13 and 31. And one shall undertake to fight against another, and cities against another. One is at one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. Right. That's all. When you read Isaiah 19 and 2, he said the Egyptian shall go against the Egyptian, man. Dummy earlier pull up Psalm 76, 1 through 12. Well, I'm finna close out, so I don't got time to read all that, brother. Kadash SOZ, Isaiah 63 and 1. Who is this that coming from Edom, but that coming from Basra? That, I mean, you might be at work. That's probably why you did that. But if not, put the whole precept up, man. We go through that over and over with you jakes, man. Hey, put up the whole precept, man. If you at work, I understand that. If not, if you freely to use your fingers, put the precept up, man. It said, who is this that coming from Edom with thy garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling the greatness of his strength, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Save who? The elect of Israel. This is Kadash SOZ, 2 Ezra 13 and 30. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. Yeah, man. And I know you had 31 up top. He is, man. To destroy this planet, man. To destroy Salakia. To destroy the wickedness off the planet and redeem the elect. This same brother put Isaiah 14 and 4. That thou should take up this parable against them. I was going to read this earlier too. So why for putting this up, brother? That thou should take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. When you read in Jeremiah 50 and 24, the Lord say, how has he ceased? Let's read it. I don't want to quote it. Let's read it. This is how they have ceased. Jeremiah 50 and 24. It reads, let's read 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon becoming a desolation among the nations? How, Lord? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. That's how. Because the Lord set a snare for your dummies, man. That's how he did it. He set a snare for them, man. This is verse 5. The Lord Yahweh have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers.
Verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke, he have ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindereth. Jeremiah, this Adam, not Jeremiah 15:2. Declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not, say Babylon is taken, Baal is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. Kadash SOZ back in Isaiah 14, verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing, right, man? All the nations are going to say this, man. When you read the whole chapter, Isaiah 14, the brother, verse 8, yeah, the fir tree rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow has come up against us. Put up verse 16, they that see thee shall never look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble with your atomic bomb? Hiroshima, Nagasaki, fat man and little boy? Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Yeah, that's him on the ground. Like the Lord say, he saw Satan fall as lightning in Luke chapter 10, man. That's you, man, falling out of rulership, man. Because you only rule for a short period of time. To us, it seemed long, but to Yahweh, Bashim, Abishai, and the angels, it's only been a short period of time. You devils been ruling, man. The veil is removed, Isaiah 14:16. Right, which you just read that. This is Kadash SOZ, Revelation 21:5. And he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, right, for these words are true and faithful. Khan, the brother put up, same brother, Kadash SOZ, Wisdom Psalm 2:12, right. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraided us with our offending the law and objecting to our infamy, the transgressions of our education. Because your education is all false philosophies. Your policies, your legislation, your democracy, your draconian laws is all bull, man. Madness. That's the wisdom of this world, which we seek if not after, man. We seek if not after that. It's verse 13. He professed to have the knowledge of God, and he called himself the child of the Lord. Yeah, some devils say he was made to reprove our thoughts, and that's facts. The Lord only set them up to be the sword on the left-hand side, man. This is the veil is removed, John 8:44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. Let me get this. I want to read this too. This Jeremiah 25. Because these enemies of Israel, they're going down, man. This is Jeremiah 25:15. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, power of Israel unto me. Take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all the nations, all of them, Lord, all the nations, all 17 heathen nations, and 2/3 of Israel. He said all 18 nations are going to drink, man. Only ones that's going to escape this, it's going to scarcely escape this, is the elect, man. It's and cause all the nations to whom I send thee to drink it, and they shall drink and be removed, and they shall be mad because of the sword that I will send among them. The Lord is going to turn his own sword. Because what's the ultimate sword to the Lord? The intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. Okay? Jeremiah 50:23 tell you that, man. Matter of fact, I'm already here. Jeremiah 50:25 reads, the Lord have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of the Lord Yahweh, power of the host in the land of the Chaldeans, man. And what's the weapons? Go read it. Isaiah 54:16. The missiles, man. The waster to destroy. Back in Jeremiah 25, in verse 17, it say, then took out a cup of the Lord's hand and made all the nations to drink unto whom the Lord has sent me. And he's starting at you, Jakes, first. to wit, Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, and the kings thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation and astonishment, and hissing and a curse, as it is this day. You see, so 2/3 of you Jakes first, man. First. It tell you that in 1 Peter 4:17. He's gonna start at you Jakes first, man. Verse 19. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and servants, and his servants and his princes and all his people. This ain't talking about ancient Egypt, right? It's not talking about ancient Egypt, man. It's talking about the new Egypt. Revelation 11:8, man. Spiritually Egypt. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants, and his princes, and all his people. Who is this? Esau, Edom, the Edomites. Verse 20. And all the mingled people, well, what do they call North America? The great melting pot. And all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, and Ashkelon, and Azar, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod. Where is Ashdod at? Over there in our land. Edom and Moab and the children of Ammon. He got these three in the same sentence together, man. Edom and Moab and the children of Ammon, because they have always been together, man. And all the kings of Tyrus, and all the kings of Zidon, and all the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, Dedan, and Tema, and Buz, and all that are in the utmost corners, and all the kings of Arabia. You devils, you Ishmaelites built the ships we was on, man. Esau bought them from you. You built the ships, right? And all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the desert. Ishmael had a perpetual hatred too, because he was the first and he didn't get the blessing. Verse 25. And all the kings of Zimri, and all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of the Medes, and all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kings of, and all the kingdoms of the world, which are upon the face of the earth, and the kings of Sheshach shall drink after them. Therefore, thus shall thou say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the power of Israel, drink ye and be drunken, and spew and fall, and rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among them. And it shall be, if they refuse to drink the cup at thy hand to drink, then shalt thou say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, ye shall certainly drink. And it's all the nations, man. Every last one of them will drink, man. All of them. Kadash, SOZ, Revelation 18:17. For in 1 hour, so great riches had come to naught, and every shipmaster, and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city, North America, Babylon the Great? The veil is removed, got Romans 9:13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Kadash, SOZ, Revelation 18:19. And they cast dust on their heads. For what? Mourning, man. See, we've been doing that. We've been doing that for the longest, man. Weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein was made rich, wherein were made rich, all had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. The veil is removed, Psalms 2:9. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Right? Tell you that in Revelation 2:26. Matthew 22:44, Adonai, the Lord Yahweh said unto my Lord Yahweh, sit thou on my right hand till I make thy enemies thy footstool. And that's beautiful. Oh, let me get this. I'm trying to read out you brother precepts, but I ain't gonna be able to read them, man, because I'm 1 hour and 34 minutes in. Damn, I'm finna get another precept. It doesn't escape me now. I ain't gonna worry about it. There was something I thought about when I read one of these verses. Damn it, I forgot it now. So this is finishing off on Kadash, SOZ, Malachi 1:4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build a desolate places. Thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh have indignation forever. Right. Tell you that in Isaiah 34:5, that they are the cursed, they are the people, they're the cursed peoples of the Lord, man. Thumbs early pull up Psalm 118, verse 23. This is Kadash SOZ, 2nd Ezra 15:21. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah power. Right. Yeah, man. They gotta pay, man. Right. We read that. Isaiah 43. Kadash SOZ. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yet thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. No, he ain't coming back as that humble servant on a donkey, man. He coming back in that angelic body, man. That angelic extraterrestrial body, man. This is GMS Saints of the Most High. Right, we read that, the Acts 11:26. The water for that, brother. The water for that. The water. I needed that, brother. The brother, Kadash SOZ also put it up too. The water for that, man. But yeah, I had another piece I wanted to read, but Lord Witness edifying. It was something else I wanted to read before I close. Damn it, I forgot what it was. But anyway, man, yeah, man, these devils they going down, man. It's a wrap. But understanding that Revelation 11 and 12, man, is beautiful, man. Your enemies shall behead you as you get beaten up into the chariots. Lord willing, we be of that number that get selected out of here. Lord willing, man. But until next time, I say, Shalom. Gotta give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rikah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether you can accept it or not. In a sincere salutation to all the Akim, pushing the truth and believing the truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Akwath who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. Lord willing, it was edifying. Till next time, I say Shalom. Wow, Baba. Ate the water for tuning in. Ate the water for all the precepts, man. Your brother lighting the coming board up, man. Hey, I love this. Lighting it up, man. Lighting it up. Beautiful, man. Hey, may Yahweh Shema Shah continue to bless you in your houses. Stay prayed up. Until next time, I say Shalom. Hey, as I always read, Ecclesiastes 32:11, man. When you got to go out, get what you got to get. Matter of fact, let's read it. Let's close with that. Ecclesiastes 32:11. Hey, but long as you trust in Yahweh Shema Shah, you're gonna be covered whenever and wherever. Ecclesiastes 32:11. Rise up, be times, and be not the last, but get thee home without delay. There, well home, take thy pastime, and do what thy will, but sin not by proud speech. So when you got to go out to the highways, you got to go out and shop. Whatever you got to go do, go handle your business and get out of there, man. Be not the last. A lot of things happening, man. Until next time, Shalom.